What is up, everybody? So it's welcome and welcome back for those of you who have been with us before. This is The Spot. You're hanging out with me, Haron Mumuli, and we have
the realest OG in the building right now.
Inahitajika. Bado natafutana na nickname. Unfortunately, I still haven't gotten.
So, by the way, guys can actually suggest nicknames for this guy because he's a little bit short on the creative side. So
it's not a matter of being short on the creative side. Let me tell you. It's a matter of
bad, whatever.
Let me tell you. Unaona, ukiangalia my name, it's just 2 syllables. Haron. Niambie nickname gani utatoa hapo kwa jina 2 syllables. Unajua yako iko na like 3. Githinji. You have 3 syllables. So OG tayari, that's a nickname. Haron ebuni ambayo utaishota naje?
Hari.
Sikia. 2 syllables again.
Harry Potter. Azimina majina mob sana za kuita baby. So
okay. That's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
So the topic of the discussion. Kwanza tell me bana, have you been? Umekuwa unajua ina sound mpaka ni kama we've been here the entire time tukiongoja.
Yeah, I know. Oh, my week has been good. Not much may happen. Yeah, I was actually just looking forward to this day, us coming and shooting another episode of the spot. So yeah, actually naweza sema hivyo.
Okay, very good to hear.
Your week?
It's been nice. Kazi 1-2 and 2 nisema 12 but yeah, I've also been pushing. It's been interesting, it's been nice. I'm grateful to be here.
Nothing worth noting has happened this past in your life.
I don't think you can say nothing worth noting. Tumeskuma. Yeah, in general tumeskuma. So unajua ile yenye ukiulizwa uko aje uko fit, sasa uko kihesabu zile itinerary imejaza tank like was niko fit.
Vile wakikuyu usema ati no uko mamani. Labda amemake mitaka 10 the previous week. Naoni kani kitu anaweza mention hapa. Azini kujaribu tu.
Exactly.
No kugeria bari. But anyway, I'm glad you've had a good week. So yeah, last time we had a good episode. We started off the spot. So today I'm what are we talking about?
So guys, for today we were thinking of addressing, I was telling Githinji this is a huge topic. We might not be able to cover it in one episode, but it's fine. Wacha tuende nayo.
Yeah.
The topic of the day is what it means to be a man. Mambo ishakuwa
mzito bala.
Mambo ishakuwa moto.
Imaliza na episode moja. 15 minutes zitatosha kweli kitu.
We'll do whatever we can.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see how it goes. If we need to unpack some more, it's fine. We'll figure out how we'll just schedule it and just fit it in. But yeah.
Plus, so, I think even the important thing to note is we're just sort of like initiating the conversation. We don't have all the answers. We're just sharing ideas. I'm sharing my perspective, yours as well, and we see where
how they mesh, how they fit, as in what are the
true. And guys as well can share in the comments what it actually means to them to be a man. Not just men, by the even
this although the topic is about men, I don't think
I think it
should be owned by men. Anyone can weigh.
Anyone can weigh,
because it's a really broad topic, and I know a lot of people have different opinions. I know I have my own opinions that probably will contradict with whatever you think are parameters of being a man. Na mimi unajua ikifikanga hizo maswali za let us unpack. Kwangu it goes broad, because now we can delve into as in what the society demands, what the society defines as a man. You can look at what history has used as the definition of a man.
Yeah.
We can use what I have been, because in a way pia mimi najiona nikaa mimi
ni bazanga
mimi ni kama mwanaume. Yeah. So yes, Ebu, tell me what you think. Wacha tuanzie hapo. Okay. What does it mean for you today? What does it mean to be a man?
So I think for me, like you've said, there's this way that society has sort of like, ingrained in us what it means to be a man. And even if you have a different view or opinion, which you've come to get over the years, there's still that what society
has already imbued in
you, as in yes
imehama ndani.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So for me, I know a man is supposed to be,
supposed to be
what? As in a man. Okay, a man. But what I know, or what I think is a man is, ni bazang ni OG, like nimse more aggressive, nimse anarauka, anapiga mboka yake.
Tuanzie hapa. Are you a man?
Of course.
Wewe. Like, so is the traits zote una mention mention you like take anarauka.
I am a man. I believe I'm a man. Me ni OG man. So I'm a man. Mi ujituma, mi urauka, mi ujaribu ku provide for not just family, but friends around me, people who actually depend on me. I believe I'm ambitious, and as a man you're actually supposed, society expects you to be ambitious, to have goals, si ati umekaa tu hivi like umerelax tu hivyo. Like I said, a man is someone who takes care of his family, of his community. So for me, by that definition, I believe that I am a man, because I do most of those things. But those is one is vitu sasa like society, like expect of a man, to also provide leadership, not just to your family, but at work and in society in general. So for me, I actually think that is what a man, what it means to be a man. So those are just zile like qualities tu za juju. So kuna qualities zingine which I think naweza ingililia a bit more, but I would also like to hear what.
So are you goja kwanza hata before you get to me, I have some follow-up questions kidogo. So you have given a definition that more or less sounds like what the society has taught you a man is.
Yes.
Am I correct?
Yeah.
So does this definition fit into your definition, as in ile definition yenye society imekupea? Is it the same as the definition that you're running with as what it means to be a man? Because we've broken it down quite well. We've said that there are various definitions that you can come by. Kuna ile, there's that definition yenye as in this one I know I'm a man because ABCD. But then there's that broader definition yenye the society has more or less forced, let me call it forced, because that's an environment that you can't control, that it has told you that this is what it means to be a man, this is what a man is. Then historic. So for you, that definition you've shared is the society more or less. Does it map 1-to-1 to your personal definition?
So my personal definition, it is based
on the society.
So from that societal definition, then you're able to like say, hey, by the way, these qualities that society says make a man, then some of them, or most of them, actually even all of them, as per my definition, are what define a man. So more or less, yes, by society's definition, yes. But I think other than hiyo tu, that general definition that society has given, I think kuna zile vitu zingine zenye most probably unaweza pata like hatuangali. So for instance, for me, like I think that a man should also be accountable, and it, not just accountable for your actions, you're accountable for your work, what you do. So yeah, I think society maybe unaweza pata hijasema like that itasema tu you need to be broad, muscles nini vitu kaa hizo, unafaa kuwa na kisauti kingine akijikai kujipiga vitu kaa hizo. But kuna hizi vitu zingine, the qualities that actually a man should have. You need to be accountable, you need to be ambitious, unafaa ujitume vitu kaa hizo. So more or less zinaingiana in a way, societies in my own definition.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I think now back to me, because now I'm done with the follow-up questions. For me, there's the societal definition that more or less what you've mentioned, that hey, a man needs to be our society especially. Let's just talk about our society. We're looking at a man, someone who needs to be as in the provider, doesn't need to get into a lot of shenanigans. All that is all the list. I'm sure the list you have it here, what the society says a man is. If you're not providing, then someone is not very ready to call you a man. In a way, that has been part of a definition that I have rolled with for quite some time. But also for me, there are some there's a split where tumeenda hivi pamoja. If we're looking at my definition and the society's definition, tumeenda hivi pamoja, then kuna mahali inaanza, it starts carving away. Because when we look at what the society is saying a man should be, clearly most of us, a lot of us wouldn't be called men if we were to call each other men. In summary, yes.
Okay.
Because the reason I'm saying that is yes, let's just pick up one of the examples that a man is, number one, supposed to be a provider. In that scenario, what happens to all the men who are men but are not able to provide for their family? Probably provide for their dependents, for reasons probably they can't control, for the situations they've found themselves in. Are we stopping to call them men? So okay, that's a conversation we'll delve in. Okay. But now in my definition of a man, it's slightly where it veers off is where the point where, actually it's not the point where, it's actually in the areas where it has been defined that hey, a man needs to be a provider. In our society, I think at this point it has gotten to where clearly a man doesn't need to be a provider. We have gotten to that point. There was, as far as now the societal definition is concerned, I know it's that's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement.
But in my opinion, it has gotten to our society has more or less matured to that point where when you're talking about a man, he doesn't need. Now that's my definition.
I'm really curious as to how women listening in would think of that statement, that a man in this society that we are in doesn't necessarily need to be the one that is providing the chief provider of the house or the family. I'm really curious to like hear what they would have to say to that, because I'm imagining a situation where well, you marry, you have a wife, you have kids, and generally supposed to provide. Then ko hapo unaambia mama, wewe hii role Sai society kuna vile like
let us look at
level
that exact scenario. Let us look at that.
As in pia wewe unaweza provide, as in hata wewe enda ujitume mimi nikae home, you know, I'll stay home with the kids, you know, change diapers and whatever, and cook and do whatever. I don't know. There are people who do it like that, maybe.
Increasingly.
Yes. And I have nothing against people that, you know, families where the man and the wife, they are helping each other when it comes to, you know, house chores, taking care of the kids, you know, cooking and whatever. But still, I think the chief provider is still the man.
The chief provider.
Yes.
So now let me just drop a scenario for you. Exactly. Umepatana na mama, you're like, okay, in this society, of course, by now mkipatana, probably you're both working, and mko tu sawa, moving together, start a family and all that. So for her, she's keen to just advance her career. So tuseme yeye amevuka career yake, imemujenga a good one. Probably amefika, let's talk about like 7 figures, or even 8 figures. Job yake now is giving her 8 figures. Where probably career to struggles, we know life happens. Umekuwa pale na 5 figures, but of course your relationship is working, your family is going on well. In that scenario, would you still be adamant to call yourself the provider? Because now the dynamics that are coming in, okay, whatever is happening now is, if you are the provider, then easy 6 figure. I've mentioned 6 figures for the man, yeah? 6 figures zako is supposed to cater for everything. I'm just talking about this because we are now living in a society where it is a possibility, and see that it's just a probably. Increasingly it's becoming more and more probable. Unaelewa? So as in kitambo ilikuwa like 0.1 where we were saying a man has a better chance to succeed, to gather resources and be the provider. We are seeing an environment where those dynamics are changing. So now women can also just, and I'm just using the terms in this scenario. So now you're with your 6 figures, you're being expected now to provide for someone mwenye yako bracket yake iko na 0.9, my friend. So now what happens there? Are you a man?
Yeah, I'm still a man. Like,
okay. So what's making you call yourself a man still then in that scenario?
Because even if I'm earning significantly less than, you know, my wife is, I'll still take up the responsibilities of, you know, providing. Let's say we're still living in a rental. Like, I'll make sure I'm still the one paying the rent. Most of the household items, I'm the one still footing the bills. Yeah, because as in there are those things that, you know, like come on, like you're really.
But you see what's happening here, as in 2 extra zeros on that.
I know.
No, I'm trying to. Unajua unasema tu.
But still, let me tell you. In the way the society ime morph na tukachange. Nowadays, okay, going back to that point, foundation your relationship also matters a lot.
Matters, very true.
Because if let's say at that time we were meeting, Mindo nilikuwa na a lot more, and kajituma, she got promoted and whatnot, got the 8-figure salary, I'm still where I was. If the bond, the foundation that you guys laid for that relationship of yours is super strong, then the amount of money, it shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't matter.
And for you as a man, how strong are you to actually be able to appreciate that she's earning a lot more? Actually, let me even support her. But yeah, I'm still the man of the house. I'm still the provider. And for her, the lady, it also takes a lot of, a lot from her to still like, so to say, like, hey, the guy is still there where I found him, but I know he's still there, the chief provider. So it has, I think it goes to the root of the relationship that you made, the foundation that you laid for that relationship. Because mostly, and I'm sure by there, a lot of guys have experienced this. When this happens, when the lady earns a lot more, then like the man starts feeling, am I enough? Like, you know, and then the lady on the other hand is feeling, so what is this guy like offering? What is he bringing to the table anymore? So like kunaanza kuwa nayo disrespect, you know. So the man is feeling less of a man. The lady is feeling, you know, I am now the boss, the OG in this house. So when that starts to happen, then kuna kwa tuna hizo cracks, which eventually lead to maybe guys going their own separate ways.
I think that is actually part of the reason that this was actually an important conversation, because I don't know if you see it the same way as I do. I feel like because there's that definition that everyone is picking
Society
of what
especially,
to be a man, as in what it means to be a man, then now I am suddenly in a relationship. Okay, let me not say suddenly, probably through my own decisions or whatever unfolded in life, found myself in a relationship where my counterpart, my significant other, is making a lot, considerably more than I am. Then now I start to feel like lesser of a man.
And it happens because of what you're saying, how society has taught us, how we've been brought up. And we all know that the man is supposed to provide. But when you find yourself in a different scenario, like how do you even handle it? How do you deal with that?
Exactly.
And even the women, it becomes difficult for them to like, how do I deal with this? Like, how I've been brought up, even growing up, my dad was the one providing for the family, and you know, now I'm finding myself with this man who I love him and everything, but hawezi, and in fact hauna idea kumuitisha sapa because you have the money,
exactly,
you have the means,
as in bills zikiletwa zinaruka meza
zina nini. And you know, I think for men, the way we've been brought up, there's a sense of pride that comes with you being able to provide, as in just having that capability to provide for your family. I don't know, you just feel nice, you just feel like, hey, by the way, I'm taking care of these people, these guys.
Do you think it's necessary?
It's not necessary, but it's, you know, it's the way we've been brought up, and maybe we need to change that. Change that narrative. But we also need to train guys and our kids and people that it is not a must that you will be the one making X and X. The roles could be reversed. This is how you deal with that scenario.
We are probably finding ourselves in it's more or less a gray area. Because if you look at our parents' parents, for them it was clear cut that, hey, the gender role, okay, it's kidogo, we're also delving into gender roles, but what it meant to be a man is wacha amke asubuhi aende atafute chakula akulete, wewe utatayarisha, utahakikisha watoto wamemea. So the man is supposed to ensure that they are there, they're provider, they're forward thinking, they'll craft the way for the family and all that. But as time goes, that difference, again, it's a matter of difference. A man used to be here, whoever else used to be here, but that difference is ever getting closer, because we are seeing that if it's a matter of providing, we're seeing ladies picking up roles that are now, that probably ikifika saa provider, or if we're talking about money, ladies are earning probably the same salaries, and it's getting closer and closer. Ikifika ati now you're supposed to be one of the other things that I remember nilikuwa naambiwa when I was a child, mwanaume hafai kulia, siwahi toa machozi. Mwanaume ni kunuka jasho na kuparana. Those are the things that we were being told. But again, living in a society that has, I think, intellect. If we measure our intellect as a society, but we are a lot smarter than our historic figures. So essentially, probably expressing ourselves might be something of importance or something to consider. So essentially, now, for me, that definition veers off from the societal definition because it automatically requests us to do some things that inakuwa ni kama unajinyima. In summary, inakuwa ni kama unajinyima. That ati sifai, let me just take that bold example. Sifai kulia kama mwanaume. Juu machozi zitafanya nini? Zitakuwa acid zichome floor, zichimbe shimo or something like that.
Hazitachoma shimo, lakini hazitachimba shimo. Lakini for me, by the way, I have to say that I am a firm believer in that. Like men, you're not supposed to cry. Like honestly, by the way, I have changed a lot of my views and perspectives when it comes to what being a man means. But hiyo ya mwanaume ni
hafai kulia.
Yeah,
is it something that you told yourself, or are you told from being a child that
of course
you are a man, usilie, we ni mwanaume, unalia kama nani?
Of course,
as
of
in
course,
you're told,
of
it's
course.
repeated to you so many times that it gets to a point where you're like, by the way,
umeambiwa mara mingi sana, so even now you're like, you're a man, no one can ever see you cry, baby. Which again goes to that aspect of being a man of, you need to be strong, you need to be, and not show any kind of weakness, because I think, shedding a tear is more or less interpreted as being weak. So I think for me, I have to say that one I'm still holding on to that view. Maybe the one that you've mentioned that NSC agree with is that mwanaume unafaa kunuka jasho as in mwanaume. Of course, jasho uparare hata usijipake mafuta.
Hapo ndo tunajua
like sai watu tunaoza
hivi tusikie maranja sana no ati mwanaume anaoga na sabuni gani? Pia kipande geisha
ati zizi hapana. So for me nitoka tu na hiyo sabuni scented whatever geisha itapiga kama rashi, nitakuwa msafi. I'll make sure that I'm well groomed and looking nice, smelling nice, because even women don't want nowadays. Hakuna dem utapata yeye akwambia ati me I want that guy that smells like sijui like
ametoka kupasua mbao huko nje,
like ana sweat shati zizi. Women want someone who smells nice, by the way. These days.
But it's I think again it's partly because these days if you look if you go back in time, whoever was making the most money was whoever mwenye alikuwa ameshika hiyo mbao ameipasua amechope These days we are looking at keyboard warriors, watu wenye wanajaza documents, all we're doing is signing documents.
Watu wamekaa tu hapo wanapiga ka vlog vizuri. Simple, in a stress.
So ukinuka jasho now you're actually asking you, my friend, what is happening?
So by the time mtu ananuka jasho as in huyo like this. Sasa huyo guys have shifted from that.
And I also think that also builds up to now what I was also trying to just put across, that has it gotten to a point where the societal definition of being a man in a fight, this is expired, let's put it on, let's just dispose of it, and we pick up probably a new definition, or we modify the definition that we had, because clearly, as we've mentioned, kunuka jasho for a man right now, okay, me naeza nuka jasho, naeza justify, but more and more we are looking at a society where it's no longer acceptable and if it's a matter back to the to all we've been discussing about, as time goes by, especially now where we are at now, that definition of being a man is slightly skewed, because even though you're saying that tearing up as a man is not manly. I am sure you've had friends who've teared up in front of you. Who are men.
Nawapiga makofi basa. Wacha ujinga. What are you doing? My love. So imagine you uanze kunililia hapa.
Wewe sasa kumwagia machozi hapa my friend. Let me not like naweza kaosha floor hapa.
Naweza kuchapa vibaya sana.
The reason more or less partly for me why I don't think it matters is because life happens, my friend. Life happens. And imefika point where I will say I will deny my expression because niliambiwa na watu wenye 30 years ago ama 40 years ago.
For me I think that as a man there are only like 3 instances where you're supposed to cry. Maybe the birth of your child.
Why are you including exceptions now?
Maybe someone has passed, someone dear to you, family member or whatever. Yeah, I think actually it's just those 2. But hizi zingine ati sijui sijui nani nini imehappen, umeachwa na nani hapa nje msichana, umekuja unalia the whole night, unakuja unanililia hapa. Me I'll just tell you, let's go grab a drink, saw your story, we move on. But for me, I don't know if you're getting it, like because hata wewe ukianza kuja kulilia seme something has happened, seme something has happened at work, your boss like alikusomea mbele ya kila mtu ikakuwa ngori, so umekuja home umepata mama, so uko like what happened, remember that boss I was telling you about, as in you're crying there like
hapo na umezidi
so like you're supposed to like baby sawa tu kesho tunasukuma, see like
okay.
I think for
I get what you're trying to say. I get what you're trying to say, that
it's I think it's okay to express your emotions and your feelings, and I for men I think that is what we've been told not to do. It's okay like to just open up to a fellow man and just tell him this is what is happening. But like evil, but see at you're bawling like a baby, and no. So for me that one, I don't know. But that's me, by the way. I know you're into crying. You like that's okay. But me, just if you want to cry,
here's what
I won't be
say.
there for you.
It has been reinforced even in me, so much so that tuseme even when it gets to that point where I feel like I'm triggered, that I might get to a point where I need to tear up, I will be conscious that hey, is someone watching me? Should I be doing it here?
So you'll go hide in your room
and just feature. Unaelewa?
Yeah.
And that's also what I was trying to put across, that